What is your top advice to not get injured?
I would say probably ignore half the stuff on Instagram about trying to be strong. Don't fall for the fallacy of strength. We're all a little drunk on the idea of being strong, but the people with the strongest fingers aren't the best climbers. And so you often see people with it doing amazing feats of strength, but climbing quite a few grades down from people who aren't as strong, and they're a bit like a car doing a wheel spin in a car park. You just the best climbers know how to move. And I think philosophies like Adam Ondra's, he's got a great attitude to climbing, and it's very, very infectious when you hear him talking about stuff like this. He's essentially, if he's having an easy session or a really hard session, he's engaged to the point where he's thinking about how to do each movement better. And so it really doesn't matter how hard he's climbing, because he's always learning. And so if he's having an easy rest day, he does a climb, he thinks, well, how could I have done that better? How did my body feel? He's never just yarding along. And so I think your brain's the biggest thing you can really focus on. Don't get swept up in being strong. Get swept up in climbing better and enjoying every single time you climb. If you can do that, you'll be a good climber. You might not be the strongest, but you don't need to be. And I think I'd love to see that more on social media, but it's hard to sell that. So, you might not see it so much.
It's not as sexy as a 1-arm 4 mil hang,
Exactly.
No, I love that. That's such a good answer. And it gets me actually really fired up, because I've noticed myself kind of over the course of 4 years of doing the podcast and having all these conversations, and also, working on my own climbing the whole time as well. I've kind of seen myself naturally drift in that direction, and it's yielding better results, but it's also, I'm just enjoying my climbing maybe more than I ever have. I've talked about this a little bit already in the last couple episodes, but I'm here in Waco Tanks, and I've been here for over a month, and I'm having my favorite season I've ever had, and I literally haven't sent anything. I've only been trying hard projects and really focusing on just learning every session and learning how to, train, air quotes, really just learn better on my projects. And I've seen progress in almost every single session of the entire trip so far, because when you really zoom in and pay attention to the details like that, there's just always, there's always more things to learn. There's always ways to, feel a little bit better on a hold, or grab it a little bit differently, or do a movement slightly more efficiently, or whatever it is. And I'm really enjoying it.
And I bet you when you come off a problem, if you're in that frame of mind, you're less emotional, because you're being objective and you actually know what's going right and what's going wrong. But if your preset is, I must try harder, and that's why I didn't do it, then when you come off it, you're going to be emotional and pent up and frustrated, because you don't actually know why you're not doing it. And it seems so obvious, but so many people fall into that trap. And then so going back to like Ondra's approach of just climbing better every move, every session, and enjoying the process of figuring out. To me, that's a way happier way of climbing. So I'd say that the trick is to do that. And it sounds like you're doing it pretty well. So good effort.
If you found this video useful, I put together a free masterclass on how to unlock your full potential in climbing, where I share some of the best nuggets I've learned from interviewing the best climbers in the world. It's for any climber who wants to improve, and it'll help you take your climbing to the next level. Link in the description below, or you can click right here to watch it right now.